Palestine. And we chose to kick off the series with Jenin because, as many of you know, Jenin has been under constant military bombardment and destruction by the Israeli army since the inception of the Israeli apartheid regime, which has had severe emotional and psychological effects on the children, which has resulted in ongoing generational trauma affecting their daily life under occupation. Children are dealing with PTSD and depression due to physical harm, the loss of family members, disruption of social networks, internal displacement, and much more. For example, a close friend of mine from Jenin is just in his early 30s living in the US now, and he watched his father die in his arms in 2002 during the Battle of Jenin when he was a little boy. And as if that wasn't enough grief to hold for the last 20 years, he just watched one of his nephews be murdered by undercover Israeli forces on social media. And this is one of millions of Palestinian stories. And I always wonder, not just about present effect on my people, but how this will affect generations to come. Through all of this, Jenin remains resilient. And there are so many amazing organizations and individuals doing the work on the ground to support Palestinians through these daily atrocities. Two of them are joining us today, one of which is close to my heart because it was started by the late Giuliano Mer Khamis, the son of Arna Mer and Saliba Khamis, who actually happens to be my cousin. The Freedom Theatre was established by Giuliano through the inspiration of his mother, Arna, who prior had opened the Stone Theatre in Jenin Refugee Camp, which was destroyed in 2002 by the Israeli army. The Freedom Theatre has consistently supported the children of Jenin Refugee Camp in giving them a space to express themselves and embody what freedom is in their minds. I will let the amazing Ahmad Tobasi, the artistic director of the Freedom Theatre, tell you more. Ahmad Tobasi was born in Jenin Refugee Camp, and his personal story is one that echoes both the armed and cultural struggle that is inherent in the DNA of Palestinians. After growing up experiencing the violent repercussions of the Israeli occupation, the First and Second Intifada, the invasion and bulldozing of the camp, and also him being shot, he became a political prisoner for 4 years at the age of 17. Upon his release, he joined the Freedom Theatre School, later living in Norway and working and training with the prestigious Nordic Black Theatre in Oslo. Ahmad returned to Jenin Refugee Camp in 2013, following the assassination of Giuliano Mer Khamis, and he worked within the Child and Youth Program, as well as performing and directing multiple professional productions. Most recently, he told his own story in And Here I Am, written by Hassan Abdul Razak, which has toured the globe, winning the award for Best Production at the Sharm el-Sheikh International Theatre Festival. And he is now the Freedom Theatre's artistic director. Tfaddal, Habibi Ahmad.
Yes, shukran. Thank you, Nancy, for a great event for what we call it cultural resistance. Yes, we're gonna fight through anything that can make our story arrive to any people in this earth. That's the words of Giuliano and Zakaria Zubaydi when they said third intifada will be artistic, cultural intifada through films, videos, dance, magazines, everything. We're gonna use any tool that gonna put the Palestinian case on the table and arrive it to anywhere in this world. And before I start, because for me it's like always emotional to go through all these memories when I hear people talk about the Freedom Theater, the Stone Theater, Arna, Giuliano, the Freedom Theater today, the assassination. That's the journey of the members of the Freedom Theater. That's the journey of Palestinians. That our destiny to pay all this prices, to lose our close people, to lose our inspiring people. But that's the destiny. That's the way that we fighting for. We have to pay an expensive prices to achieve what we believe. We always know that Giuliano was saying this way it will be always. You will lose something because everybody knows how much it costs to look for freedom, freedom in different ways. So yes, this attack by the Israeli army, it's for me nothing new. After the 2002 Jenin camp, Jenin city was always attacked by the Israeli army, invasions, arresting. But to be honest, it was a surprise for us, this invasion, because the way they did it, the fast way of doing it and achieve many things in one day, one night. The whole camp was bulldozed, the whole camp was invaded. And yes, it was very hard because for me, I lived the first invasion. I was outside with the people in the invasion, which took at least 12 days in that hard way. But the Israelis this time brought us 20 years back, just like this. You feel the Israelis have the time to decide how we Palestinians, especially Jenin camp, live through this time. It was very disappointed that the Israelis could do this again and again in 2023 when most of the people know what is going in Palestine. A lot of the groups who try to support Palestine and put the crime of Israel in the face of people, but still we didn't see reacted the way the world reacted. It was very disappointed. The PA, the Palestinian Authority, the way they reacted was very disappointed. We felt Jenin people left alone in this invasion. People were watching us. Even the Palestinians themselves were watching us around Jenin, and we feel that we are a screen that people like Gaza now, where you just hear Gaza is under attack. It's become normal to see Gaza under attack. It's many sides that I'm sorry I cannot just speak all about them in this time, but it's really many serious cases that we need to discuss to see how we arrived here. But you know, the third day of Eid, the Israelis invaded in camp, and it was from 20 years that the Israelis again using the Apache or bombing houses in Jenin camp, which was a surprise for everyone in the camp, surprise for the people, surprise for the fighters. Everybody was confused what is going on because the Israelis simply can enter Jenin with jeeps, they can arrest, but why they're doing this, why they're using this now, everybody was confused what is going on, what's going to be next. So for me also, it was a big surprise to open my window and see bulldozers, the D9 bulldozer, which is a special bulldozer, army bulldozer to dig and demolish houses or whatever. So for me, when I saw it, from my window, I didn't believe it. It took me directly to 2002 when I saw a big bulldozer just destroying all these houses. And I said, shit, after 20 years, it's like it's still the same. I thought like, the occupation is developing himself, theirself, and they're going to be at least using a new technology. But yeah, they used a new technology with the old technology. And by invading Jenin camp, is not for me, it's to tell Jenin camp, to tell Palestinians, you cannot make Jenin as an example of capital of resistance. They came to destroy, they came to tell Palestinians, you cannot dream out of what we want you to dream. You under occupation. When they see the kids, the young people in Jenin stand up and resist with all these beliefs, with all this strong example for not just Palestine, for the whole world. They came to tell us, we're gonna destroy you and do not dream again. You will not trace whatever will happen. We have the D9, we have our weapons to remind you you are under occupation. So in many ways, I can tell my story for sure or my personal experience in this invasion. But yeah, I think it's better to take a question and then we go to this kind of moments. What I want to say, it's what happened to Jenin. It's really much more than you saw on TV. People got hurt in their emotion. People, children until today, affected by the invasion, and the psychology side this time was much bigger than any other times. Believe me, people in Jenin, yes, the first moment we came back to the camp, the first moment we start to clean and fix, and we were so proud. We have all this dignity, we have all this proudness about we are in Jenin, a 1 kilometer square, 17,000 people with children. We stood up for this crazy, brutal occupation, and we were so proud of our young people, fighters, kids, families who was in Jenin camp and lived this moment. And yes, we were fixing everything, cleaning everything. But again, we have a lot of political sides cases that we need to be discussed because it's not easy to continue achieving some success in this kind of situation. So yes, what I want to say that Jenin and the Freedom Theater from the first moment, it was so clear that our job starts now in this kind of situation. It was a very nice collective artist movement from all over this bank, 48, Jerusalem, all of them. They came to Jenin camp. They made an artistic march inside the streets of the camp. All people were more happy than the kids. Everyone was celebrating. And I'm telling you, the people in Jenin in Palestine 75 years fighting, and we're still strong enough to go another 75 years because it's not about how much you can carry on. There is no choice to think about carry on or not, or give up or not. This is our destiny. We, as a Palestinian, we will fight for the humanity in the world, not just for Palestinians. We will fight for dignity, for equality, for the whole world. We believe what we're doing as an example to let other people, other nations, to learn from the experience of Palestine. And when my Ziyada says we teach life there, yes, we teach life there by standing and resisting to the last moment. I will not take more time. Inshallah, we discuss other cases through the questions and what happened with Jenin and what the Freedom Theater are gonna do or doing in this moment. So back to you.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you so much. And we're with you 1,000%. We appreciate you and all the work that the Freedom Theatre has been doing and the Friends of the Freedom Theatre supporting throughout. We are going to do a Q&A after our next speaker. I do want to remind folks that if you haven't signed up for our mailing list, please do. We're going to be having these amazing discussions every month with different folks on the ground in Palestine and all over the world. We also are going to push for people to keep donating. You know, the work that the Freedom Theatre does, the outlet, the space that it gives the children is really, really important. And you know, I mean, I think Ahmad pretty much told you there is no choice but to move forward. And so that is the work they've dedicated their lives to, and we want to support them in any way that we can. So please do donate whatever you can. The link will go into the chat in just a moment. If you have any issue getting the link, let us know and we'll send it to you personally. We appreciate everybody's support, everybody that's in here. Next up, I want to introduce another amazing individual from Jenin, Rawand Arqawi, the executive manager and founder of the Fragments Theatre. Rawand is a cultural manager and a theatre producer from Jenin, Palestine. Before founding the Fragments Theatre, she worked as a production coordinator at the Freedom Theatre alongside Giuliano Merhamis. During her work, she managed numerous performances, workshops, international tours, and exchanges. Afterwards, she continued cultural work with various local art projects and groups, including Bukhara Akhla, and a project coordinator at Cinema Jenin. In 2013, she initiated Fragments Theatre and has since produced performances, workshops, and women empowerment projects. So without further ado, Rawand Habibti tfaddali.
Hello, thank you, Nancy, for organizing this. I really appreciate your work. And I'm so happy to introduce first Fragments, which also I was one of Giuliano's students who were teaching or who bring the culture in Jenin. And I think that when we present our work as Fragments, that it belongs also to Freedom Theatre, and this is also successful of Freedom Theatre because we were one. I was one of was working close to Giuliano. First, I would like to introduce myself as I'm Rawand Arqawi from Jenin, who I born and raised in Jenin. And I worked at the Freedom Theatre in Jenin Camp with Giuliano Merkhamis. After his assassination, I just, it's like the assassination was very difficult. Since that time, we were facing difficulties, occupation, and also the harassment from the people, like not to say like that, because we worked in culture as women. So there is a few women who worked in the culture, and I had the big challenge like to be in the theater at that time. And so many rumors like spread out about me. But I decided like to make something in Jenin, because if we want to talk about Jenin is very difficult place. First, it's and the people they live in low income. No one cares about Jenin. So if you want to talk about the problem in Jenin, you have lots of problems to talk about, like the environment, the Palestinian Authority ignored, the people from outside also ignored Jenin. So there's so many problems, so socially and economically and also politically. And for us, like to say about the recent invasion, what makes me so sad, like when the people after the invasion, like we just only it's over, and the people just only say, wow, well, we had only 12 people who were killed. And this is why, because the people just, they used to have assassination all the time, and also to have invasion all the time. Since the problem is started since 2 years, it's not this time, or the invasion happened in this time. No, it's happened long time. That since 2 years, every day, like there is invasion, killing people, but the media, no one just only focus about what's happening exactly in Jenin. Just the people, just only in the media, they were written about Jenin, and then like lots of people every day we losing young people, and the Israeli, there is no limits, or there is no, how to say, there is no control. Like they were killing the people in the streets. In the beginning, like just we were encouraging people like to kill. Okay, we are live in a normal life. The people, the Israeli army attack the Jenin, but they don't kill the people in the street. This is what like we convince ourselves that we live in very normal life, but actually no, we don't live in normal life, because recently that they were killed the people randomly, and you walk in the street, and then suddenly the Israeli enter Jenin and kill the people. Just only see that the people are your friends, your neighbors. And now it's Jenin. For me, like when the people ask me about how is the situation in Jenin, I said, look, we live in cemetery. It's like they're just only buried young people, and this is very hard. Recently the invasion, what they did, it's like everyone wants like to be fighter. Even the women now, they want to fight the Israeli army, because there is no choice for the people, and they want to defend themselves. Now, when you go just only to the people, everyone wants to die. There is no. And when after the invasion, we were completely shocked. We said, okay, it's over, we won. And this is what we are trying to convince ourselves. But in the end, we were completely shocked to see the houses, to see the young people. Israeli army just came and killed like 16, 17 years old young people. But even that, like we are trying, as a cultural leader, also we need support. We need support like physically and mentally to continue with the young people, and also with the children. Also, you need to be stand. Like in recently, I was completely collapsed when I see some friends that they were killed and see their families, how they crying on the cemeteries, and their life, how it's horrible. And then I just started with myself, like to have well-being, to continue with the mental health with the children, because when you talk with the children, everyone like, okay, do something like for the future, and then he has a gun and he wants to die. The life in general for the young people or for the children, it's the death. This is the word for the, I want to be martyr, I want to be fighter, I want to die, and there is no, it's like the life, like, what's the meaning? When you ask someone, what's the meaning of the life is the death. Yani, all of us, we will die. This is what you hear from the people. Actually, what we are doing in the Fragments Theatre, that we continue with the young people. We work in different forms. We work with visual arts, we work in theater. Of course, like mainly theater, it's not our main project. Now we are more working for visual art. So we are theater and cultural center, so that we do lots of work. Now we focus about mental health with the children. We train young people to work with the children about mental health, and we work with the well-being with the woman. And this is very important because I'm a woman, and I want like the woman also to be encouraged to involved with the theater and also with the activities. So and also now we are working for recycling. And for me, like that, the journey, like to say about the Fragments Theatre, it's not easy. It's like conservative society. No one encouraged you, no one supports you, no one helped you. But in the end, there is Fragments Theatre who is located in Jenin city. I wanted to share you some photos about the space, about our work.
رواند
Yes.
مش شايفينك احنا شيلي حبيبتي.
مش شايفيني؟
شيلي الصورة رايحة.
اوكي، يمكن عندي النت عندي ضعيف.
Okay, so it is the connection, because if you're going to share your screen, we're going to have to be able to see it.
Okay.
بدك ترجع تدخلي؟
host disabled participating. I think I can't. النت عندي. ممكن أبعت لكم إياه. Can I send it to you and then just only like it's a few.
روان ابعتيه على الايميل، نفس الايميل اللي كتبت منها، وبعدين هيك بعمل سكرين شير انا.
هو كتير بسيط، أنا ما حبيتش إنه كتير أعمل. Okay, ثواني. Sorry,
and
always the internet, when I have something, the internet it makes, this is crazy.
It's a conspiracy. Rawand, turn your camera off, Habibti, and turn it back on. Let's see, because we would love to see your beautiful face.
Okay.
And while we get that together, folks, I'm just going to remind people, if you are able to make an additional donation, we have raised almost 3,700 for this event, and all three organizations will benefit from this. We would first of all thank you to Elaine and James for your additional donations just now. Truly appreciated. We'll post the link again into the chat, and I see the questions are also coming in, so you can keep posting your questions in, and after Rawand shares her photos, we will go to Q&A. If you are able to make a donation again, there is the link in the chat. We appreciate everybody that's in here and all the support that you have given. I think the camera is still not working.
Okay, I send it.
Okay, على info at Palestine صح؟
بعت لك مريم.
Okay.
I replied email.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to share that it's like when I started my work, it's like I started from the scratch. There is nothing, just only when I left the Freedom Theater when after Giuliano's assassination, because I was closer to him. And it was very hard, like for me to continue. It's more personal issues. And it took a very long time, like to understand that he died and how we should continue. And also he wanted to have something in Jenin, or also like to spread culture in Jenin. And he was all the time was telling me, don't stay in the building, just only go and just spread the culture. If like to make resistance, like you go to other places. And then I started from, just only left the theater, and then I didn't have like good experience to establish theater and cultural center. So and started like from like let's say from the zero, but I succeeded. By the way, it's not easy for a woman to work in Jenin actually. And I had lots of obstacles, lots of problems, but I don't know how I continue, but we continued. Now I have my Fragments has own space because I believed about the art, and also if always, like I said, that if you have a dream and if you want to help these people or these children, especially the children in the where Fragments is located, they are in the old city and they don't have anything to do. And just we open the theater, it's like a space for them. And so I just this is the house that I get it. It was when I started my work there. It's this is the house that I rented from someone, or he donated for the Fragments. And at that time we had nothing like to renovate this space. Just only looked for this space how we can renovate it. And then because we believed about the art, so I just contacted so many people to help and to make everything with the volunteers, and we renovated by our hands. So next photos. This is how was the space. The next. So yeah, now this is our space. This is when we had nothing, just only like start, as I said, like start from the scratch. And it wasn't easy, like for a woman alone. To be honest, I was alone, no one helped. And this is like when the people say that if Giuliano succeeded, so I always say like, okay, I have my own space. It means that Giuliano is succeeded to make theater or to build Palestinian cultural leaders in Jenin. So yeah, so this is now our space. We have also we open cafe in the house. We work in storytelling, mental health, well-being, and also with children, young people, also art and people. This is a project. It's for the retired teacher, like to come to use the space and to spend their time, like to make poetry, and also to exchange idea, like to spend good time with culture. This is what we are doing in general. Actually, if you want to talk, we will take long time. So I'm trying like to make it shorter. Yeah, next photos. Yeah, so here, like when we started with recycling, because when we found ourselves that there is no money and there is no fund, so the alternative way to make your work. It's like to make furniture for the space. It's like just to bring all the materials from the street, and we make we make the furniture from recycling. So everything by our hands. The next photos quickly. Yeah, so here we have we in the theater we make like small performances like storytelling. It's not that big, like it's for 30 or 40 per person. and storytelling, like we screen films, we like the retired teachers, like when they perform, so how they use the space. So the space now, it's for the community. It's not only for the women, the children, and for the young people. No, it's for the all members of community. Let's make revolution of culture. Okay, so just only like if you go quickly, just only to see, this is what we work in the recycling, that we bring the materials to make recycling, and this is an installation that, as we said, like we work with visual arts, installation, sculpture, and fine arts. Yeah, the next. Yeah, you can just, here it's like screening films, like we show film in the space. And here it's like, this is the artistic corner that was made by the artists. And here it's like mental health, like we train, and here also like to give well-being for the woman. And we are trying like to bring anything new for Jenin, like especially with the visual arts, because the Freedom Theatre, they're doing a good work with the theater, and but also we try like to complement, how do you say, continue the work, but in different forms, like to make the visual arts, like recycling, and also something that will be with women. And because I think that the woman needs lots of support. As a woman who live in Jenin, I know how the women, they suffered, and then I want to help them, because they are the mothers, and they are affected by by what is happening in Jenin more than anyone. So this is what we have in the Fragments Theatre, and you can visit, of course, the Facebook, and I'm happy for any questions that you would like, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Rawand. شكرا كتير كتير إلك حبيبتي. Thank you to both of our amazing speakers. Thank you to everybody that's donating. We're over $4,000. Let's make 5,000. So please keep your donations coming in. If you haven't joined our mailing list, we will also post that in the chat. We do have some questions. I believe Maureen has been collecting them, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Maureen.
Thanks, Nancy. I do see some comments real quick in the chat about people being unable to donate too. If you'll give me a minute, folks, we can go through the Q&A and then try to work those out, and also email info@Eyewitness Palestine, and I can help you once we're off the call too. But yes, let's get to the Q&A. If you do have additional questions, I ask that you post them in the chat, and if we get through the ones that we've got through here, we'll also throw yours in. So I'm going to start here. Let me pull up my questions. Apologies. Okay. I'm going to start. This isn't in order, but this is one of the broader questions, and it can be. It's to both Ahmed and Rawand. So somebody asked, Julie B asked, can you please tell me how many people live in Jenin and why Jenin in particular has been so targeted?
Jenin as a city, I think it's 70,000 people, maybe a little bit more. In Jenin camp, now you talk about 1 kilometer square, where almost from 17,000 to 20,000 people lives in 1 kilometer square. Children is from, you can talk about 3,000 to 5,000 children in Jenin camp, where we do not have one playground that's open or a club for children. That's what we try to do, and that's what we try to do in the future. And that's, for the Freedom Theater, yes, we do the activities. We have the whole program for children, yearly program. But I'm talking about an area that is one of the most attacked areas from the Israeli army. The young people in Jenin Refugee Camp or other camps, they do not have much choices. If you grow up in Jenin camp, you have three choices: to be a martyr, to be a prisoner, or to be handicapped. That's the future the Israeli occupation giving you. That's the choices as a young people in Jenin. And for us, we try to provide Freedom Theater space is to take all these children to another reality, to give them a choice to be different with the Freedom Theater, with the space that we will try to create, to make them feel as children, live their life as children. And that's one of the other problems, that children in Jenin camp do not grow up naturally as children. In Western US, in Europe, children, even you are 18, you still teenager, and they deal with you as a child before you graduate to be like an older person. In Jenin, 12, 11, you are a man or you are a woman. You have to help your family. You have to be responsible. You have to do stuff for community, and to face all these difficulties that many also graduation young people, there is no jobs, there is no possibility after they even graduate from the universities. So, and at the same time, because the Israeli army knows how important to keep this kind of places like Jenin camp, because young people are very warm, they grow up on cultural resistance and resistance itself. So they feed up a lot of drugs and guns in this kind of community, and it's a very crazy chemical drugs to make these young lose their goals and where their path in this life. So yes, it's a very serious work. It's a very serious situation that we deal with. The whole point of the Israelis feeding people in this way to make more violent scene inside the camp and inside the families inside the camp. So it is. I believe that we try to do our best, but we still need a lot to do or to affect the life of the people in the camp. So yes, it's always there is cases to deal with.
Thank you, Ahmed. Robert, I see your hand up, but we do have a lot of questions to get through. So I want to ask if you do have a question or comment, to put it in the chat, and I will run it through in order that we've got them here. There's another question here from, and thank you, Ahmed. We're at $433 to $5,000. If folks are clicking the donation link and can get us to 5,000, that would be awesome. Let's see here. And next question is from Joisha, one of EP's board members. Can you share more about how you make space and time creative practices / theater creation in the midst of this? What does creating art in these tremendously difficult circumstances look like?
I think it's the needs that we face in the reality that we work in. It's a reality that everything around you do not want a theater. A theater, a place to remind people who they are, to remind them you can choose, you can create a different future. It's very dangerous. Freedom Theater does not fight one occupation. We fight a lot of occupations in this life. And we always say there is a small occupations there and there. For example, we talk about women's rights. We talk about children's rights. We talk about individual freedom for people before we start to talk about even bigger freedom of Palestine. The place of Freedom Theater is because, we try to create and remind people with awareness, to be aware of everything around them. And that's also, we talk about corruption, we talk about the PA, we talk about the education system, we talk about the security systems that also Zaire and PA always try to work on us. Safe place is to think about yourself. When you bring all these young people, put them in this black box or this workshop that we do, to tell them you are free. Here you can think, you can dream, you can think about yourself, you can think about your personality, who you are. And that's one of our first workshops, to talk about individuality, like who are we, how much we know ourselves before we start to think and fight for others. So to bring for us, to bring this, because also we there is a culture issue in Palestine. We have some conservative people. We have some situation that people still do not trust us. Like, are you an outsider ideas? Are you NGOs? Are you really working for Palestine? We still have this kind of suspect look at us as a theater people. What do you really teach children? And for us, we don't care about old people, because old people already having their own stones minds. So it's not about to make them change their mind and believe in us. Our degree, it's the children. When the children around us, attending us, come to our plays, they see the plays and they come again. They ask, when is the theater? That's our major. That's when the children love us. That means we do something that the people like it. So yeah, to create a safe space for us is to make the Freedom Theater open for any child, anyone, any individual in the community want to be different, want to change his future, want to decide his future, want to go another path. That, I think, is the most important. And yes, if you look at our website or our pages, with all these videos, with all this information, you will get how much important to create that space and keep it alive.
Can I add something?
Yes, of course, Rawand. Thank you.
Yes, actually, the idea for the theater, it's still new for the people in Jenin. It's like to say theater, because the neglecting by Palestinian Ministry of Culture, even like they have an office in Jenin, but what they are focused, it's about some people that they know about poetry, about also the crafts. But for them, like the theater, also for also new ideas about the art, it means for them that they support the people that they know. And also, if I'm talking about ourselves, that when we focus, when we make the first contemporary art exhibition, it's like we focus about how to show Jenin in your eyes, for like to bring the neglected artists. Actually, we found lots of artists who are very talented, but no one knows about them. And in actually, for us as who work in this culture, even like we face problems with the people, but we just completely shocked to see this huge number, and they are very talented, and no one cares about them. The problem started from the Ministry of Culture. Even, for example, when I opened started the Fragments, I had problems like to write a proposal and to make the budget. So I was looking for workshop to learn, and then I didn't find, and no one cares. I'm just only jump from this to that, and then asking the people, and it's not easy like to write a proposal, and suddenly like you have no experience for writing proposal and submit, and then of course it will be rejected. But then I developed myself from my friends, from asking the people, and it took this a lot of energy.
always, like we say, I always say that who is responsible? It's Palestinian Authority about neglecting Jenin. It's not only with the arts, it's with everything. Now is Jenin, yani, it's like it's also about the education that we had. Actually, Tobasi was involved also in this play. It's called The Madman. We talked about the social problems. It's about the education. We criticize the education because if you want to go like to see that the schools or how the people suffer, or the kids, they are suffering from the schools, and there's so many social problems. So, and then like when you talk about issues in through the art, the people in the beginning, they don't accept, and when you tell them like, okay, come and see a play, so what? Play, theater, it means like, so you say bomb, for them. And this is like took long time like to aware the people about the importance of art. And since that we started and since 2007, just we were bringing the people come to the theater, come to see what we are doing, and to convince the people. Actually, and when we opened the theater in the old city, like one of the neighbor was throwing stones to us, like, okay, that we are, and he was crazy, like, because theater, it means something is bad, theater. And after that, we brought him, like, and he come to see our activities. Now he give. When we want chairs, we bring from him. We want water, we will bring, and he support us now. And he's taking care now of the theater. If someone wants to do anything, or he is now he's like a bodyguard for the theater. Yani it's like takes long time, like to how to convince, also the way how to convince the people about. Now it's not you work as cultural leader, but also like you have the responsibility instead of the Ministry of Culture, like to convince the people. And we can't blame the people in Jenin, because the people here, they, as I said, like they live in a cell, they don't have anything. Suddenly there is theater, what's art, what are you doing? And the mentality also. And for example, they like the dancing group, which is very important, like folklore, folk dancing, which is very important. But because they're for a long time, they know about the folk dancing. This is what they know, and because the ministry also like, okay, this is traditions. It's very important, like to keep this, but also like add something new for the people, bring something new to, especially the Jenin. Go to Ramallah, go to Nablus, and you see the difference between between Jenin and other cities. I think that we will continue suffering also with Ministry of Culture and Ministry also PA. This is another fight.
Habibti Rawand, I'm going to pause the Q&A just for a moment. For those of you that have time, we're going to ask a few more questions, because I know there are a lot of really great ones in there. So if you are able to stay a little bit past 1 p.m. EST, whatever time it is, where you are, please stay on with us. We're $308 away from $5,000, which we're going to be splitting through the organizations. This is really amazing. I'm like almost speechless. Hard to get me speechless, but I've always got something to say. I'm going to just quickly share my screen and just show folks where you can, because I know when you're clicking on the link, it's looking as if you cannot donate. But if you look right here, if you guys can see, this is the part when it takes you to the form. This is the part here that you want to click on, and you can just put in your donation. You know, somebody could put 308 and that is the part that you want to do now, since the ticket sales are closed. This is a donation button right here. We truly appreciate everybody for all your support. I know that everybody supports these different organizations. I know that people support many different organizations in Palestine, but nobody could do the work without all of you guys. And so it's really important, and we truly appreciate you. So keep the donations coming in. And remember, this is going to be a monthly series of different Zooms. So you'll get to hear from different Palestinians all over the world and in Palestine. And so just stay tuned with us. Make sure you sign up to the mailing list, and I will let Maureen take over again with some more questions.
Thank you, Rawand and Ahmed, for that, and Nancy, thank you. We do have a few more questions, so if we can get through all of them, great. But there are about 4 or 5 more, just as speakers, keeping that in mind when you give your answers. This next one is from Yu Shiu Su. I am so sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly, but the question is, does Jenin Freedom Theatre have plays that they can provide to theater companies, whether professional or for school theaters, to get the story of Jenin and Palestinians out to the public? And the question is being posed as in the sense of like using plays and how playwrights have historically spread their works is by making their playbooks available for theatrical production. And I would love to hear that from the Fragments Theatre too, if they have a method for that. If Rawand, do you have an answer?
Sorry again.
Yeah, but
Yeah, this is both to you and Ahmed. I guess if you guys, if either theater has plays that they can provide to theater companies that would help get the story of Jenin and Palestinians out to people who are outside of Palestine, for example.
yes, so to say it quickly, a little bit the structure of the Freedom Theatre, so you understand a little bit how we do all our programs. So we have a program for children. It's a yearly program where we have winter camp, summer camp, and in between we have this kind of workshops for children, drama, circus, and sometimes other members of the Palestinian Art Network or our other theaters, our friends, they come also do workshops and apply their programs also in our theater and with our program. And for sure, a part of that program also, we have a professional play, a production that we make for children. And at the same time, the children themselves, they create a play and they make it for children. So you will see theater from children to children, and totally is a professional way of doing it. Costumes, scenography, lights, rehearsals. And that's how also you spread the culture of theater with the children. They come from the schools or from outside or in normal families. So we work also in Jenin and Jenin Camp. So we have all this mixed groups that we try also to destroy the obstacles and the division between camp and city and village. And you know, in Giuliano time, we had this idea of bringing audience. Giuliano was bringing audience from all over West Bank to Jenin the Freedom Theatre to see theater in a professional way. We, as the Freedom Theatre, we are the only professional venue in north of West Bank. You can imagine what that means. There's a lot of people around us that we try to, but yeah, this is the children program. We have a theater school, which is a professional theater school, 3 years, where we choose a group that goes 3 years in a professional program. Teachers from all over the world come teach in the Freedom Theatre, and also Palestinian teachers that these students, they become actors, actresses, and makers. And somehow they learn to be makers, to start to do their own work, their own production. And it's very successful to see our graduation students are all over West Bank. Some of them even outside go continue to be specialized in some theater methods. And then we have the community theater. It's also like women productions. Sometimes women themselves, we have some projects that we need to do like a research, and then we discuss an issues, and then the women themselves perform it for other women, for other organizations. So it's really many of the stages that we try to focus on the stories and personal stories. And for the same time, we have our professional company who do the professional work. And yes, we choose the theme, what we're gonna do, and what, and exactly some productions we make it especially for the community in Palestine, for the Palestinian people, to discuss cases in Palestinian community. Other productions, we make it like an international production where we take it all over the world. Now I'm in Norway doing a tour for And Here I Am, which is already talks about the young people in Palestine, the situation via personal story. And now this is our method of using, like in Giuliano time, Giuliano was using and adapting the international novels, famous stories like Animal Farms, Waiting for Godot, Alice in Wonderland, and adapted to the Palestinian situation. And but now we went more to the individual. We adapt the personal story. We collect personal stories, and we adapt it to a bigger productions, and we take it all over the world. Yes, we use this always. Our productions, our theater is always to discuss some matter, cases are important in the Palestinian situation, political, social, whatever, and at the same time we take it outside so that people can know and be close and aware about what's going on in Palestine. They got it through the theater, through the play, and yani, it's all these sides that always also being focused on how we bring the story to the people, and it's always about the story being heard, always about the story to be shared. And yes, Freedom Theater was in New York for a long time. We hope the policy of the visas and you guys gonna make a new revolution in America about this kind of bringing this kind of theaters as a Freedom Theater, the productions of the Freedom Theater, and you know the Zionism movement always trying to make it difficult, and that's what they want for us to fight, to resist through theater, to see that the Israelis, the Zionism movement provoked because a play, a theater play, that's for us, it's a big achievement. When we had a tour in UK, we had a tour about for the siege. It's a play talk about the fighters who took asylum in the Nativity Church, and we didn't talk about the just normal children or women or the rights of Palestine. We talk about the fighters, the situation, and how they arrived here. The Zionism movement was standing outside the theaters. It tried to shut the play down. The artistic director in Manchester, the Lowry, got a threatened, like a killed message, threatening killed message because she putting a Palestinian story on her stage. So yes, it's the way to fight. We're not just doing theater. We resist through art. We in the Freedom Theater making it clear. We not make entertainment. We are not here to look like victims. We are here as a fighters. We are here as people who resist, but we resist through theater and art. That's very clear.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ahmad, for the little ones.
Yes, for us, as I said, like we are a more cultural center, how like we actually we collaborated with different organizations from outside. Like for example, the recent project was with Bond Street Theater from New York, that we worked together about like to train the young people in mental health to work with the children. And actually at that also we used videos like the participants for in the training, like they use videos like to send their messages to the world, to the world. And we focused about also engineering, that we didn't have any storyteller in engineering. So if we want to make a performance about or a show about storytelling, that we have to bring someone from outside. So we focused about this need, or this like how to fill this gap, and then we trained the young people to be storytellers, and then and it's also like to open the space for them, like, okay, tell your own story, tell whatever. We don't just only force them like to choose this story or not. No, it's their own story. For one example of the storyteller, she was telling, like she was telling her story about her brother who was killed during the invasion, when she saw him and how it her reaction, and she never talked with about this in her life. Just only like she always say, like my brother was killed during the invasion in 2002, but like to talk about in detail, never happened with her. Like when she stands in the front of the people, she talked about her own stories, and then also like to see the people how they were listening to her, and then also the people surprised like when someone is a storyteller to tell her about her tragedy, and then also her reaction was completely different. Like she felt that I feel much better, and then she never talked with any people about just only my brother killed, but it's for her like to open the space for the young people to tell. And also they worked with the children, also like use their imagination. Storytelling is very important to work in the theater, because like, okay, they give the space, tell whatever we want, except like, okay, I want to die. This is what we can control. And this is where we can interfere, like to bring the hope for the children, because the hope for the children, or also for the young people. So we open the space for them. Okay, tell whatever you want, and then what you want to hear, what you want to show. The group, they work with the videos, like to talk. They found the woman, they found young children. We open the space for them, like, okay, and then told what they want.
Thank you so much, Rawand and Ahmed, for that. We do have a couple more questions. One of them was kind of inadvertently answered, so I'm going to skip that. But I want to go to Paula's question here. Paula is another one of our board members, and I think this is a fantastic question. She says, from a feminist / Black perspective, I know that using the traditional forms of meditation are not always helpful, particularly from extreme trauma. And so there is emerging some Black practitioners who are developing alternative modalities of meditation. How can we here in the United States create networks for you and your women there to do something like this?
The woman, I think that this is very important. The woman, they need lots of support. They first that now I'm working to aware the woman about how to involve with the theater, and how with the theater, and also with culture, as I said, they started with them in well-being. Actually, how they get support, it's like when the people, I know that it's difficult for them, the people now to come to Jenin, because it's very difficult, and then it's hard, for us, like it's in somehow little bit dangerous. But actually it's good to start with first, like to gather the woman and talk, like to listen to each other through the Zoom, and then you can hear the stories from them, and what they need, how the support they need. And it's like first that talk with the woman and listen to them, understand what they need, and then we can think together how we can support them.
Thank you so much for that, Rawand.
Sorry, can I say that?
Yes.
That the last thing that we had an experience, because 3 months ago that we worked with women from England, that we bring women from Jenin and women from England, from Bristol, and then they working working together through Zoom. That they were telling about the food, about their hobbies, about they sharing their stories, and I think like 3 days for like to talk with each other. This was very helpful, like for the women in Bristol to understand the situation of the woman in Palestine. I think this is a good example for this.
Thank you, Rawand. If people wanted to learn more about these opportunities that you guys offer, like to connect with women in Jenin, should they follow you guys on Instagram or on Facebook for more of that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna read off one more question for our speakers, and then I'll drop the links to their respective Instagrams in the chat too, which should be able to and see if I can get the Facebooks also if they both have Facebook. There's two last questions. One of them is a very short question, so I'll start with this one. It's from Doug P, who I believe is one of our last minute donors. Thank you, Mr. Doug. The question is, do either of the theaters use the techniques of Augusto Boal's Theater of the Oppressed?
Can I answer this question?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Answer after.
Yeah. Actually, now I'm planning. It's like to work with also American theater. Now we are discussing the idea. I was thinking like we want to talk about the environment. Actually, because for me, we suffer a lot from the environment. And this is, yani, it's not, I'm going like to make lots of changes, but I'll try. Yani, especially where I live, I need yani, a place where the fragments is located to be clean and different, and then I can do. Yani, it's something that it's not like a magic. Yeah. So and then we're talking with the American theater that we want to make together a program like to train the young people, to bring volunteers how to clean Jenin. And we will use at the same time like to make short pieces about theater of oppressed, like and to hear how we can change, especially in the area that where we live, and to talk about that. So this is the technique that we will use, but we didn't use before, and we will learn and like to bring for Jenin or for our participants something is new for them. This is about the fragments, and of course Tobasi, he has lots of techniques.
No, actually, that's the way we use every method in theater. We do the theater oppressed, we playback, everything in this world. Sometimes we mix it together and we put in one play. It's all about what is. It depends also sometimes on the audience, if it is children or community kind of places. Because also in the Freedom Theater we have different projects where we try to reach community, like communities like sea areas where there is no electricity, there is no theaters, there is no even buildings. And we have one big project that inshallah we try to bring back. It's stopped for some years because of the situation. It's called the Freedom Bus, where it's like really, it's a journey from 10 to 2 weeks inside this kind of areas, sea areas, which is a Palestinian area under Israeli control, where you are not allowed to do anything. They don't have water, they don't have basic things to continue life. So we contain like Palestinians, internationals, journalists, artists, musicians, students, activism, everyone come and they go in one bus, a trip from almost all West Bank and visit this kind of communities. We make an artistic night, and exactly in this kind of community we use theater of oppressed and the playback and a platform theater, which is closed and simple to perform the stories. But yeah, we use all methods, and it's for us. There is. I'm telling you, it's very short time to go all to these details. I'm trying really to keep it general, and like for the Freedom Theater, this year in September is gonna be the second edition of the Theater Feminist Festival, which is, you can say it's like the only or the first feminist theater in the whole Arab region. So yes, it's always to tackle and challenge the community, the people, the power. Our relation to everyone is love and war. If we do something they like, for sure they will love us, but always they hate us when we talk about rights, freedom. But yeah, for us, we're so happy to do this festival for the next time. This year is September, and we have people from all over the world, feminists, who come to Jenin Camp, to the Freedom Theatre, to celebrate feminists in Palestine. We have two Americans performers they're coming also, which is a good news. We have Indian, we have from Slovenia, we have, there is many on the program, and plus Palestinian feminist theaters and activists. So yes, that's the way. Theater, art.
Thank you so much, Ahmed.
I want to interject real quick. I've got to let everybody know that we're at $5,115. Thank you so much. That's really amazing. We really, really appreciate all the support. Super exciting for the kickoff, part of our monthly Zoom series. Again, please sign up. If you're not signed up to Eyewitness Palestine, please sign up. You can also go to the websites and the Facebooks of the Freedom Theatre, the Fragments Theatre. They are posted in the chat. And if you need any information on them, please feel free to email us, info@eyewitnesspalestine.org, and we will be sure to send you all the information if you want to sign up monthly donations to these organizations. They're doing the work on the ground. I wanted to just add something. I think a lot of people don't really realize that when we talk about trauma healing in Palestine, it's not a full healing. You can't fully heal Palestinian children from the trauma because it's ongoing. And I believe it's Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate, who said this when he came to Palestine. And he said that you can't fully heal them from a trauma that's going to happen again, tomorrow or next week or the week after, because they'll go right back into shock. So these programs that are consistently available to them, these spaces that allow them to be able to release, the feelings, the anguish, these are some of the most important spaces that these Palestinian children have to continue to want to live. And, it's an outlet for them. And so, however we can support them, we should. And I really appreciate it. And, I'm going to let you go with the last question. And thank you to everybody that's still on here with us. We truly appreciate you. And we really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. I can't believe we hit over 5,000. That's really amazing. It's really a big boost for this first series. And inshallah, we can help many different programs in Palestine. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you for that, Nancy, and thank you to everyone who donated. We do have our last question for the afternoon. And let me go back up here so I can find it. It is from Robert, who had his hand up earlier. Robert says that my understanding is that Jenin is specifically targeted by Israel for symbolic reasons. It is seen, and I think rightly, as a hotbed of resistance. For those of you who live in Jenin, is that the way that you see Jenin?
No, we see, I cannot, it's not about yes or no, it's about, everybody will define that in the way they think. But for us, no, it's the place of hope. It's the place who's surviving and resisting to have a life, to have equality. For us, it's the last example in Palestine that reminds people of what responsibility we have, what we are facing. Jenin, it's the point of hope for not just for Jenin people, it's for the whole Palestinians. We got the chance, we got the beliefs to stay, to continue. We got the power to continue, and I think Jenin, it's the spotlight that's gonna light the whole Palestine. And for me, I cannot forget Julian Wert when he say Freedom Theatre. We dream to become a generator of creating fighters to fight all over the world. If Palestine gets freedom, Freedom Theatre will move to Uganda, to China, to Africa, to all the places have occupation or have colonization or have oppressed people. We start from Palestine and we will reach the world, because what we have in Jenin, in this little camp, in this theater, we have people from all over the world, friends who believe in us, who are supporting us, and they are part of our work. Yes, many people from all over the world, journalists, politics, actors, directors, musicians, even David Miliband, the foreign minister of UK, they came to the Freedom Theatre to learn about cultural resistance, to see what this example making life in Jenin, making life in the Freedom Theatre in Jenin camp. So yes, we believe that Freedom Theatre, it's an international organization in Palestine, which brings all this attention, all this light to fight for others too.
Thank you, Ahmad. Rawand, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, actually, it's I know that Jenin is well known of resistance, but like to share stories about the people as I worked with especially like the many martyrs from the camp, and these people they had hope, they had dream. Like I was talking with these people because they were audience to the Freedom Theatre at that time, and I know how they were thinking. But why it's like, let's say, well known with the resistance, because like when the Israeli attack, like the people only go be in the houses, and suddenly there is invasion, and the people wanted to defend themselves. No one can see her father is killed or his brother, and it's like a kind of revenge for them, and they are really sad. Like to see, I can share example like when the invasion happened recently, like my cousin, his house was attacked by Israeli. The first thing that they released dogs, like the dogs attacked my cousin, and they put him in the corners, and then like 10 soldiers, they were beating him and hit him. When his mom like saw that saw them that they were they hit him, so she attacked the soldiers, and she said like, I wanted to die, and she was trying like to hit the soldiers because she wanted to defend her son. Like she said, yeah, she was telling us, I really wanted to die. I wanted that soldier was to kill me, because it's very hard like to see her son like with dogs and 10 soldiers attacked him. So everything like is reaction. Like the people just only, they don't go and kill the Israeli. There is a camp and Jenin city. Suddenly you sit and you have normal life. You drink coffee. Suddenly there is invasion. There is invasion. There is invasion. So why? Where is there is invasion? Because someone has a weapon. Someone throws stones. If you want to share stories about what is happening in Jenin, like one of the children, he's 15 years old, he was killed. He just only was throwing his stone. So, and he was killed. The Israeli army like said, okay, he has to be a lesson for other kids. And then, yes, he was really a lesson for the kids. Instead to throw stones, like they had a gun instead of stones. So this is the lesson that you gave for the children. It's always reaction from the people. No one wants to die, really. We know, we live in Jenin, and we know the people who were killed. Everyone's a dream. Everyone wants to be something in the community. Everyone wants to travel. But what is happening, Jenny, there is no.
I'm afraid we've lost you, Rawand. I don't know if she can hear us.
I think she's.
This is why to see their sons and their children to be killed. Yeah, it's really difficult, and they want to defend their families. So this is what exactly happening now in Jenin, and really like the mothers, and go to see the mothers how they live. Yeah, I just went to cemetery. The woman there, they stayed from the morning till the evening. No one really wants to see the woman, any mother, to see her son that be killed. And if you see that everyone is like, they're celebrating and happy. No, but they are dying. They are completely devastating, and this is not easy.
I just want to say a small thing that maybe it will explain what is Jenin and how the people look at it. So in the Freedom Theater we have also friends and colleagues who work from 48, and that's always what we try to do, to include different territories in the work of the Freedom Theater to keep this kind of identity alive. So because Jenin has the closest checkpoint is called a Jeremy checkpoint, which is divided with 48 and Jenin or West Bank. So when our colleagues from 48 go back through the checkpoint, the Israeli soldiers ask them where you have been. And they tell them we have been in the Freedom Theater. So the Israeli soldiers will get confused, will get crazy in their minds. And if they ask them, there is a theater in Jenin, and that's what I can leave the imagination to think about, that they don't even believe we have theater in Jenin. So yes, that's why theater, and I hope the theater will get more big again, and the situation will get back. And for sure, I would love to say thank you from all over the world, the people in US, the people who donate to continue our work. We also get so happy when we see people believe in us, when we see people going with us the same journey to fight with us. Without you, we cannot breathe, we cannot continue the work. When we see other people standing with us, that give us strength, give us energy to not see ourselves alone in this fight. So thank you very much. And I hope you consider yourself, you are part of the fight and you are fighters with us to bring the justice for the people. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nancy. And I hope the future will be more positive things.
Thank you guys so much. That is the end of our list of questions. I just want to give a huge thank you once again to everyone who donated, to our speakers today, Ahmad and Rawand. Y'all are amazing for the work that you do. It's much needed. It's incredibly difficult work, but it's also extremely powerful at the same time. So thank you so much for allowing us to put on this this event with you, and I hope that we continue to work with you all and be able to find ways to continue to support the youth in Jenin and the wonderful work that y'all do, whether that's for youth, women, or everyday Palestinians in Palestine. So Alf Shukran, Ya'tikum al-Afiyah. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who donated and put us well over our goal of 5K. Big round of applause to everyone. And if financial, again, if financial is not a way that you can donate, please reach out to us about ways that you can support sharing these meetings, because we'll be having once a month from now on, is a huge way to do that, to help generate even more attendance. So yes, once again, huge thank you to everyone. And I also just want to give a shout out to our pretty new executive director, who put this event together rather quickly and has done a fantastic job of a bunch of things. So I can't see her face, but Nancy's somewhere in the sea of people. So thank you so much, Nancy. You're amazing. And I will turn it over to you to close us out.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you, Rawand. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Still here. How many? We got 35 people that are still here 30 minutes after the programming was scheduled to end. We truly appreciate you. I want to give a big shout out. I think they're always underrated, not underrated, but not always shouted out, but the boards of these organizations. So a big shout out to the EP board that have been amazing and held everything together prior to me coming, and also just been so supportive. Truly appreciate you guys are superstars in your own right. And also the board, the Friends of the Freedom Theatre, the board of the Freedom Theatre, I know they've been super supportive. They work really hard to keep it together too. Shout out to Ahmad, Rawand, all your work that you've been doing. The biggest shout out, long live Jenin Anjad. Jenin btirfa al-ras in Arabic, it means it lifts our head, it keeps our heads lifted. Like, they really make us proud to say that we're Palestinian, and that reinforces the work that we do. It's our duty to be able to do this work from abroad, because it's hard to watch our people suffering on screen. and not want to be there with them. So this, this helps us feel like we're doing something, even if it's just a little bit to keep you going. So thank you to everybody. We truly appreciate all the love. Again, this is just the beginning of many Zooms we'll be doing monthly. So stay tuned with Eyewitness Palestine. We'll post the links one more time for the Freedom Theatre and Fragments Theatre so people can follow them. You can also go to their individual websites if you'd like to become monthly donors, if you'd like to make an individual donor to them. And if you want to go on a trip to Palestine and you haven't had the chance yet, let us know. That's what we do. We do have an olive harvest delegation in October. If you haven't seen that in the emails yet, or you're not signed up yet, we do have an olive harvest delegation in October. We are closing the applications August 20th. So if you're interested, it will be, visiting various farms, harvesting, doing cooking lessons, learning about the history and the culture of Palestinian food, which is one of the best foods in the world, just FYI, not because I'm Palestinian, but because I'm Palestinian, but it is great, So if you want to sign up, please go to eyewitnesspalestine.org. Thank you again to everybody. Maureen, you're a superstar. Thank you. Appreciate you. I know you've worked very hard for this, and I really appreciate everybody that's in here. Again, we will see you next month, inshallah. Much love to everybody on the ground in Palestine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
We get
Bye.
to unmute and say thank you.
Thanks, Paula.
Thank you so much.
Shukran.
Bye.
Shukran.
Ahlan wa sahlan. Bye, Robert.
Bye bye.
Hi,
Bye.
Nida. Good to see
Thanks a
you
lot.
here.
Yes.
Thank
Hey,
you.
great
Nida,
job.
if you came in late, we were going to have a recording, so we'll have that available.
I'm gonna
Nida
ask-
is here in Chicago, and she's going to